If I can handle it, then you can. This is the Kings of Rice.
This is Ultima.
And this is MGT Cast.
Yee.
I don't know. I just had to think of something to say. Um,
Yee.
so this coming Tuesday, there should be a what do you say?
A new hero.
A new
New
hero
patch.
in a large patch coming out.
A new balance patch, I believe is what the term they use. They call it balance patch.
Oh, you mean for New Age Scrubbos, it means unbalanced patch.
Get wrecked. Anyway.
So this is the new MGT cast highlighting the patch that'll come out on Tuesday, and then hopefully with the medic coming out this Tuesday as well, we should be seeing a change. And I guess how it moved on from a war, like I guess you could say a mixture between an upfront fighting support to a to what maybe I haven't seen the spotlight yet, to what looks like just a bottom line support. So
yeah.
With that said, I'm gonna let Ultima go ahead and take the reins for the for the upcoming information.
Okie dokie. So the new hero, StarCraft medic, originally from Brood War, I believe. They gave her the name, like Sergeant Hammer. It's not a canonical character. They gave her the name Lieutenant Morales.
Well, that's because there didn't exist a medic in the StarCraft universe that actually had a name. So
yeah,
not like how General Warhammer was supposed to be where Sergeant Hammer was, but they decided to take General Warhammer out and then put, I think his name was Warfield. General Warhammer. Where the hell is getting Warhammer from?
Sergeant Hammer and Warfield.
Yeah. Sergeant Warfield was supposed to be in Sergeant Hammer's place, but technically he was never seen like riding in a siege tank. So I believe that was what happened. So they decided to make an all new character, and then they named her Sergeant Hammer.
Okay.
That's what I like. That's what I think. What was the fact? But yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So new support, pretty standard support. As in it's not like a weird one like Toronto or Tastar. Seems like it's a main support.
Like Lily.
Mm-hmm. Like Lily, Rhaegar.
Now here's the question: does she blind people? Does she have those flash grenades like she did in Brood War?
No, what she has is a displacement grenade.
Makes sense.
So
it's science.
Yeah.
What can you say?
Yeah. Okay. Right. So her trait is Caduceus Reactor. I'm not sure.
I think that's how you pronounce it. Yeah.
Yeah, Caduceus Reactor. So if she has not taken damage for 4 seconds, she regenerates 3% of her maximum health per second. So she has a lot of self-healing, which is nice. Obviously, she can't heal herself, so that's probably one of the reasons why.
Yeah.
They made that her trait. Some people have been like, "Oh, that sounds like Murden's, trait," but it's like, what's the big deal? Anyway, so her basic abilities: Q, Healing Beam, heal an ally for 20 health per second, and that's obviously going to scale as the game goes on. I'm not sure what the scaling is; it doesn't say here.
It might be percentage because, I like to think because that's how it would normally be. I would like to say.
Yeah. So heal an ally for X amount of health per second as long as they're in rage. Reactivate to switch targets, or activate your trait to cancel channeling. Her W ability is Safeguard, which for 3 seconds you can grant your ally a shield that reduces damage by 25% for 3 seconds.
Oh god, I was hoping that you weren't going to say grants them invulnerability for 3 seconds.
Oh no.
Oh god,
No.
I was going to hate that.
No. Displacement Grenade, which is her E ability. Fire a grenade, so it's a skill shot. So you fire a grenade, and whenever it hits an enemy, it'll explode, dealing damage, and then knocking anyone caught in the blast backwards.
Yeah, okay. Displacement.
Yeah. So heroic abilities. does it have a true healing ult? Um, so she has Stim Drone, which is grant an allied hero 75% attack speed and 25% movement speed for 10 seconds.
Yeah, so basically she's carrying a Marine stim pack with her. Okay.
Um, I think that's a 90-second cooldown, so it's pretty substantial cooldown. Then she has Medevac Dropship, which I believe is a 60-second cooldown. Target a location for a Medevac support for up to 10 seconds before takeoff. Allies can right-click to enter the Medevac. So it allows you to pick up everyone.
Yeah, it's like an advanced peeling technique.
Yeah, and her level 20 talent, she can make it so that you're healed while you're in the dropship.
Makes sense.
That's a pretty decent heal, but again, it's not till 20. So for the most part, she really doesn't have a healing wall.
Well, I mean, but then again, like, you know,
she might have a strong.
A medic is not like they never really had substantial healing in StarCraft, so it makes sense that because, you know, that it doesn't seem possible just to spray over a whole group, because she's not, like, you know, unlike a Protoss unit that could grant shields, she's not like she's not like magic oriented or spiritually oriented. She's like, you know, she's just used what she already has at her disposal, so it makes sense. It honestly, I like the way they built her. It's not like, you know, probably people won't because, oh, she doesn't have a healing ult. You never played StarCraft apparently. Not even the medic dropships have that good a healing, but you have to get a lot of them. So, hey, work to that 20.
Work to that 20. Late game hero. All right. So, then it goes into a bunch of stuff. You know, new shop bundles. Certain things are getting some visual polish.
How about new skins? Are there new skins coming out?
Yes, there are 3 new skins. Obviously, well, I guess technically there's like 2 new skins. So there's Lieutenant Morales' master skin, and then her apothecary, or what is it?
Apothecary?
Yeah, Apothecary Morales skin, and then there is Marshal Raynor.
And what is
that? Which is like, it's kind of in my mind, it looks like I guess like a cowboy slash World War. It's like a cowboy slash Civil War.
So he's basically like
Jim Raynor.
So basically he's like Sheriff Raynor.
Yeah, basically.
What? That's like
weird. Yeah.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, so there's all that. You can now watch replays with others.
Wow. Because you have to show off to everyone.
Exactly. The replay host can invite up to 11 players to view that replay simultaneously.
Wow.
Guys, quick, everyone, check this out. I need 11 people to get in here and see what I did.
Damn. And it's not like you can substantially skip through a game, though. You know, there's not like there's a progress bar. You can just be like, and then like click there. You have to fast forward, and it kind of sucks.
Yeah.
But yeah, imagine trying to get 11 people in a room to fucking watch like an exploit that's probably only like 30 seconds long.
In a 47-minute game.
Yeah, bro, it's at like the very end. Oh, man. But anyway.
So one off requested change is happening. So loading screens will now display the players on each team, and include the player name, portrait border, and then the selected hero for each person.
So it's like the StarCraft loading menu.
Yeah.
That's good. I like that. 'Cause I like to see who I'm dealing with before I come into a game.
So the AI talents, because sometimes you get disconnected. AI chooses talents.
Yeah.
So now there's set builds in the AI.
Okay.
So that they'll follow. So I'm assuming if you pick one talent at 1 and 4, if you get disconnected, when your level 7 talent comes up, it'll pick it out. I'm assuming out of what's a popular build.
Yeah. So basically, like if I'm using hammer and I wanted to go range for damage build, like
Yeah.
you know, her basic build, like the AI should follow that basic build. That, you know,
Yeah.
okay.
Uh,
Let's hope that's the case.
yeah. We'll see how well that
It's
goes.
gonna be like, no, I think we'll choose this one because it's probably gonna be better. Uh, but you know, AI. What do we know, right?
Exactly. Um. So now in try mode, there's a siege camp and a bruiser camp. There's a target dummy that's been added. You can now set your level on like a slider.
Rather than clicking it and then resetting
Yeah,
it.
yeah, other than clicking. Because before it was just a button, you had to click 20 times if you wanted to
Yeah.
get. Um, Battlefield of Eternity, they are scaling the damage higher on the Immortals. On Garden of Terror,
I'm gonna for what instance though? Like at all times?
so basically it's adding damage. It's adding a little bit of damage that it gains per minute for the first 11 minutes, and then it's like kind of a substantial increase in damage
So
after
basically,
16
yeah.
minutes.
So basically, like how you get stronger, they get stronger as time goes down.
Yeah,
Yeah, as you gain levels, but
adding a,
but
they're adding
they're
stronger scaling for
yeah.
it.
So basically, like unlike our scaling, which is leveling, their
Uh,
scaling is time. Okay,
yeah.
so they get
Uh,
stronger as time gets longer. Okay.
so you know the plant on Garden of Terror that you drop, the potted plant.
Yeah.
It now will disable the core.
Wow.
They said we didn't like the gameplay of Garden Terrors being used defensively to slow down an enemy Garden Terror push, and now that Overgrowth can disable the core, it'll be much less effective to defend as a Garden Terror, encouraging teams to be more offensive with their Garden Terrors.
I never really. Every time, you know, I was
I was never a
always.
fan of defending with it.
Yeah, I was always led to believe that you should never fight another Garden Terror with a Garden Terror. So, you know, at least I've never been yelled at while being the Garden Terror,
For push.
and then for pushing.
Yeah,
Unless you're a complete fool
yeah, for pushing.
for pushing.
Pushing.
So,
All right, Infernal Shrines is getting some significant changes.
so what? The Punisher's getting stronger.
No, no. So the Punishers their health is all being scaled down by 10%. They will now not select a hero at random to leap and stun, but it'll be the nearest hero.
Wait. I thought like it didn't seem random to me. It seemed like
Apparently it's selected one at random. Now it's the nearest hero. So I guess now you can use your tank to bait them over the wall.
Okay. So that yeah, because I remember you were telling me like, oh, we should try to get further in so we can bait them over the wall. Okay, so yeah, okay.
The skeletal defenders, which I guess is what's on the shrines.
Yeah.
You now have to grab 40 instead of 30.
And make them stronger? No, I'm just joking.
Yeah. They will no longer take increased damage from abilities and talents that deal bonus damage to minions.
Because they're not technically minions, but that's...
Yeah. So basically, it's going to really hurt Johanna and Leoric's strength on that map. Which we'll get more to them later. The range at which skeletal defenders will detect and attack players has been decreased by 25%. Yeah, I've seen a couple times they walk really like out into the middle of a lane if you're trying to get away from the shrine.
Yeah.
It was pretty comical. And also now on Sky Temple, something I think will actually help the map. Events in which all 3 temples activate simultaneously will no longer occur. While 3 temple events could be fun, it didn't leave the defending team with many options. It almost always meant whoever had the advantage at that point could secure victory. So basically, they felt that.
So
that
yeah, they just
didn't lend it to comebacks.
Then that should mean they should scale back the scale. Well, then again, the team that has the advantage on the one temple event, that means they'll always have the advantage on the one temple event. So yeah, okay. I get it. I mean, to me, there always kind of seemed there was a problem with the 3 temple event to begin with.
Yeah.
But, hell, I mean, I like Sky Temple because I like zoning out, so.
Yeah.
So, you know.
Okay. So now we're on to the hero changes. Um, so there's 14 heroes getting changes. 2 assassins, 2 specialists, 2 support, and 8 warriors. So very
So all the
warrior
warriors.
patch. Yeah, pretty much.
It's like 8 warriors. So all the warriors.
Yeah, all the warriors except for Sonya and Tyrael.
Well, that's because they don't really need anything.
Yeah.
Sonya
Oh, and
just
Arthas.
and Sonya just needs to not be picked as a main tank Australia team.
Yeah.
Anyway,
No, for real. Anyway, all right. So Butcher, he at level 13, he had a talent called Ruthless Onslaught. Bonus damage changed from called Savage Charge,
okay.
and that made bonus damage. It added bonus damage to your Ruthless Onslaught, which was 15% of the target's maximum health. My guess is that it was the only talent people were picking because they're nerfing it to just 10% of the maximum health. That would be my assumption.
Okay.
We like to avoid current health for the Savage. 15%. Oh, okay. So I guess originally it was 50% of their current health. So now they're scaling it down to 10% of their maximum health. That was weird. I didn't know it was their current health. I assumed it was always their maximum health.
Yeah,
Right.
because you would normally think, because that's like, because you get a better scaling for damage if you're using maximum health rather than their current health, because you can get really small numbers or you can get really big numbers depending on where they're at.
Okay. Lamb to the Slaughter. New art has been added that will better indicate which players are affected by Lamb to the Slaughter.
So the chain,
Which is nice
so
because if like 2 people, get stuck in there, sometimes you have to like walk all the way out before you can really tell.
That's true.
Who it is. Okay. Big one coming. He was picked or banned in every game at the Americas Regionals. So Zeratul. He's getting 3 changes. One's very minuscule. I'm not even sure why they're even bothering with this one. So his basic attack damage is 47, and then he gets 13 per level.
Which is kind of what... Okay, anyway. Yeah, go ahead.
Especially since the main build people use them right now is the auto attack build. They're lowering the scaling to 12 extra damage per level instead of 13. So if you were to get to level 30, you're losing out on 29, 30 basic attack damage.
That's minuscule.
That is very minuscule.
They should do... If they cut it in half, that would have been a big change. But
Yeah.
losing 1 damage per level, that's not a big deal.
I know. Honestly, like even 3 per level.
Honestly,
like, okay.
honestly, with that, they would have to explain that to us.
Yeah.
Because that doesn't make any sense, or someone out there who watches this can explain that to us, because that's very minuscule in the long run, but
Yeah.
maybe they thought it'd make the biggest change. I don't know.
Yeah, it's weird. So level 13, he had a talent called Wormhole.
Isn't that one where he jumps back and forth?
Yeah, where you can reactivate your blink. So you had 3 seconds to do it before. Now you're only going to have 2 seconds. So, because before people would actually be able to blink in, auto attack Q, auto attack, throw out a singularity spike, auto attack, throw out the other singularity spike, and then blink back. So I think what they're hoping to do is make it so you have to be... You can't just blink in, get off an insane combo, and then blink out. So you're not going to be able to get off that full combo now. I think it's going to be nice for the cleave build, because that's still enough time to, cleave, W, auto attack, blink out. And then Void Prison is they're reducing the cast range by 50%.
I think that's significant, because that means you'd have to be in the thick of danger in order to cast it.
Yeah.
So I know you can tell right now a lot of people are not going to like that, but it makes Zeratul a lot more vulnerable even if he's cloaked.
Yeah.
So because You have to be right in there, and there's a lot of characters nowadays that have AOE. So, and they will accidentally hit you if you're not careful. So
Yeah.
that makes you watch what the other team is doing before you cast it. So I think it's a significant change. I'm all for it. A lot of people might not be, but I'm all for it. Because I can't tell you how many how many void prisons I threw out and was saved by it, or saved the team from it. You know.
Yeah.
So. Moving on.
So Abathur. This one's very small change. Locust will no longer spawn as soon as the game begins, and will now wait until the first minion wave spawns.
That makes sense because then, then you can get it to, spawn.
Yeah, I mean the first one would just walk up and die to tower, all on its lonesome.
Because aren't those timed?
Yeah, they're timed. So I guess until your things start spawning, yours won't.
Yeah, so basically you can get in position and you can start, and then the locust will start wherever you are on the map.
Yeah.
So.
They're scaling back Nazeebo's corpse spiders. Just a little bit. Very little. But also the leaping spiders is getting a 10% damage bonus reduction. It used to be 25, now it'll be 15%. Okay. And then the vision radius granted by Ravenous Spirit is now increased by 66%.
I really didn't like that thing anyway, so.
Yeah. Alright, so Mr. Tassadar and Toronto are getting significant changes. So Tassadar, they're taking a shield. They're decreasing the shield amount from 200 plus 40 per level to 150 plus 30 per level.
Okay.
But the shield amount is increased by 50% on heroes.
So basically,
it's a net gain on heroes, but it's weaker against.
So basically, they're changing the base amount and then modifying it depending on who you use it on.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're reducing the mana cost by 10, and they're reducing the big one. They're reducing the cooldown to 5 seconds. On his, it was originally 8 seconds, so now he can shield every 5 seconds.
Okay.
And then his leeching plasma talent will now return health 30% of the damage you do. And then his evasive shielding talent now gives you a movement speed for 5 seconds. Also, my assumption, because no one picked Force Wall, they're scaling the damage bonus from Archon down. So now he's only getting a 60% damage bonus at level 10. But it's still the same increase at 20 as before.
I mean, the thing with Force Wall, though, is you gotta, you have to really think about the situation before you decide to pick it. The first 10 levels are really prudent in whether or not you're gonna use Force Wall or not. So, yeah. I mean, it's not like all of the time you need a Force Wall, because that could, as Tassadar, that can make or break your game. So.
Yeah. So they said it's important that Tassadar players can queue for quick match and not be worried that they're going to cause a negative experience for their team. A Tassadar who chooses the support talents will be a much more viable support character. Because the way it's set now is that if the enemy team had... both teams will have a support. If one team should always have a support, basically.
Yeah.
But sometimes that would mean Tassadar or Tyrande got put up against a traditional healer like Uther or Rhaegar.
So basically, they're classifying Tassadar and Tyrande as different supports. So they're not chosen as a main support.
Well, no, it's I guess in lieu of just making them their own title, they're trying to make them more viable as supports.
Okay.
So that's what these changes are for. So, Tyrande.
So it's basically like helping more often then.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Taronda, she's actually not getting a ton of change. She's not getting a ton of change. She's only getting 2 changes, but one of them is pretty significant. So her Searing Arrows talent at level 4 is getting a 10% damage buff.
Okay.
And that's basically you just activate it, and your basic attacks use mana, but they do more damage.
Yeah, okay.
So her ult, so before Shadowstalk would reveal all enemies and stealth all heroes, but instead now it no longer reveals enemies. So it doesn't say it doesn't stealth anymore. So I'm assuming it stealths all allied heroes and heals them over 8 seconds, and then they receive a large burst of healing when it expires. And then they're taking away her Hunter's Prey talent and renaming it Hunter's Swiftness, and instead of getting a basic attack damage bonus, people will get a movement speed bonus. And that was like a level 13 talent. Pretty popular one, I might add. So I think that was, again, try to keep people from picking the same talent. Okay, on to the Warriors. So, Mr. Chen, first up. So, Chen's shield amount. It's going to scale less, but it's going to start off stronger. His shield from his brew drinking.
Okay.
So, it's getting changed from 20 plus 12 per level to 33 plus 10 per level. The brew will now regenerate in increments of 5. The Cake Toss talent is being moved from level 7 to level 1. Bottomless Mug talent is moved from level 1 to level 16. And this now decreases the cooldown of Fortifying Brew from 5 to 3 seconds. Let's see, Combat Stance talent. Shield duration after Fortifying Brew channeling ends increased from 2 to 3 seconds. He's getting a new talent at level 1. All grounding, it's called Grounding Brew, now decreases all incoming ability damage while channeling Fortifying Brew. So basically it gives him like a mini spell shield.
Oh, okay.
When he uses Fortifying Brew. Flying Kick is speed. They've increased the speed of Flying Kick by 20%, I think, to make it more accurate. Brew Strike talent now reduces Flying Kick's cooldown by 1 second for every hero hit by Cake Smash. Cake Smash slow duration has been increased to 3 seconds. The Full Cake talent moved from level 1 to level 7, and now it increases the Cake Smash damage and area of effect by 50%. Breath of Fire is E. Deep Breath talent now also reduces Breath of Fire's brew cost from 30 to 20. And the Ring of Fire talent is getting a damage buff, assuming to probably put it more in line with like Burning Rage and all that.
Yeah.
Storm Earth, his 2 ults are now getting, they no longer will cost brew, so you can cast them anytime. And his Wandering Keg's getting a 20-second cooldown reduction. Next up, everyone's favorite Lord of Terror. Some people have dubbed him the Lord of Weakness lately. Good old Dibbles. Diablo. I'm not too excited about Diablo's changes. I don't think they address his issues, but we'll go on. So they're increasing. So once you have 100, his trait Black Soulstone.
Yeah.
When you have 100 souls, you get a health increase of 15%. They're increasing it so that they're basically increasing the output of that by 5%. So at 100, instead of getting a 15% health bonus, you're getting a 20% health bonus, which should then also affects his level 7 talent that makes him even tankier. So now, because before it would jump from 15 to 25%, so now it should be jumping to like 33% health increase. So it's pretty substantial.
Yeah, in the
if you
long
get
run,
that
yeah.
talent. Yeah, you get it. His Essence of the Slain talent, it used to just grant mana, now it'll grant health and mana. Very similar to a talent Leoric has at level 4. Um, Shadow Charge, they're increasing the range by 15%,
Okay.
and they're increasing the stun duration if you knock an enemy into a wall by a quarter of a second. So now if you stun someone into a wall, it'll stun them for a whole second. His Devastating Charge talent, so he doesn't get Relentless like most tanks,
Yeah.
which reduces the crowd control effects on him. But he gets Devastating Charge, so they're increasing the length in which Devastating Charge works. So now movement impairing effects will be reduced for 6 seconds, up from 3 seconds if you select that talent. He's getting a damage buff to his W ability. It's going from 30 plus 9 per level to 33 plus 10 per level, and it's getting a mana cost decrease, which will be a little helpful. And then his Domination talent, it reduces the cooldown of Shadow Charge by 10 seconds now instead of the original 8. The buffs, according to the developers, the buffs to Shadow Charge should help reinforce Diablo as the premier gank warrior. The rest of his kit gets a little bit of love to help his overall play. I think his biggest issues are health regen and just damage mitigation in general. What the fudge? The cat just like attacked me. So at 16 is where you get the Domination talent, but they've made it very clear they're trying to make auto attack heroes more important again, and that's the same talent level as Imposing Presence, which is huge. So I don't know. I don't think it's enough for Diablo, but we'll see what happens. People are torn so far, at least in the subreddit. Some people think it's enough, some people don't think it's enough. Now here's the guy who I think is about to get buffed significantly, in my opinion. Mr. ETC.
Like he needs one.
I think he's getting what he needs.
Well,
so he's getting a health buff. He's getting 10 more health per level, and then he's starting with a little more base health.
I mean, proper for a tank, I guess.
Yeah. His power slide, the stun duration's increased by a quarter of a second. His face belt, it's getting a cooldown reduction and a mana cost reduction. And his mic check talent is reducing the cooldown by 5 seconds now instead of 4. He's getting a heal increase on his guitar solo. And then his pawn shop guitar talents, his mana cost reduction is being increased if you go pawn shop guitar. If you go prog rock, so he used to get 2 bonus health on guitar solo for each globe. Now he's getting 3 health for each globe.
Okay.
And so they said they wanted to further emphasize ETC's ability to disrupt enemies with his face melt and power slide abilities. With these buffs, we feel he'll fall in line as a viable main warrior. So
When he's not already, though. I mean, I'm sure there's some changes that maybe made him fall out as a main warrior, but like,
yeah,
he's still pretty popular regardless.
Yeah, so like he's easy to use, which I think you'll find most people who are like I feel like a lot of people who get stuck in the tank spot, at least in Hero League, you'll see them default to ETC. He's got a good ult. His issue was just he had some real mana problems and some health regen issues because he gets a very different talent.
Yeah.
For his health regen. So I think this is gonna do good for him. Plus the cooldown reduction, because I thought he should have got battle momentum, but I mean, if they're reducing his cooldowns, it doesn't really matter. So next up is Mrs. I Run the Show, with the exception of Leoric, Johanna. So, Knight Takes Pawn is getting a damage bonus reduction. Before, it would increase the damage bonus by... It would increase your damage by 400% to minions and mercenaries, and now it's only increasing it by 300%, and it's losing a 1 second stun duration from the 4 seconds down to 3 seconds. Blessed Shield, the stun duration on the first target is being lowered from 2 seconds to 1.5, and then the 2 additional targets it hits are only getting a 0.75 second stun now. And now at level 20, Radiating Faith no longer increases Blessed Shield range, but now increases the stun duration to the original durations. So very, very minor. I think they've learned in the past that they had a what's the word, propensity to just nuke heroes who were incredibly strong. So I think they're trying to scale down slower than they used to.
I mean, but then again, like, you know, when they when characters were like, you know, like Kalthus, like, because it seemed like, you know, over time they had trouble balancing Kalthus. They kept changing things and made it worse, and then
Yeah.
so, you know, with that, they're really just downscaling numbers instead of changing it altogether. So you got to see how where the numbers take you before you start changing the whole skill altogether.
Yeah.
So, you know, numbers at times, really numbers can make the difference, rather, you know, stun durations, you know, or you know, or decrease in damage, you know, then it makes the, you know, then now it changes the game at certain levels, or, you know, at certain situations, you know. So we all can have a fair and balanced game for whatever it's worth.
Exactly. So basically, they think a large part of her strength was her ability to clear large minion waves, which is becoming... they sort of talked about this. They said in the early stages of the game, people didn't really value the ability to clear out minion waves. So it was never an issue, but ever since these last 2 heroes, you know, these last 2 tanks came out and they had really good wave clear, people, I think, saw how valuable it was, because it just keeps pressure in the lane.
Yeah.
So...
Because you want them to attack you instead of the minion wave.
Yeah, so because the... So because it's become so popular and so important, I think they're trying to... they're hoping that scaling down the wave clear will make them a little less popular.
No, I find that to be a shot in the dark, though. But
yeah, it's a start. I think. I don't think it's enough, but we'll see. Leoric, he now dismounts when he uses Oscene Renewal. I guess that was a thing.
I never used Leoric, so I don't know.
And then the main thing, they're decreasing the damage on his skeletal swing from 100 plus 10 per level to 85 plus 8.5 per level. And so that'll exponentially decrease his wave clearing ability, because obviously it's just doubled what his base damage is.
Yeah.
So Leoric is too powerful right now. We're targeting his skeletal swing, as we believe it does everything a little too well. The damage output for his ability has been decreased overall, and we've reduced its strength at clearing minion waves significantly.
So let's just say you make him properly weak at the beginning. Okay, that's for characters that are too strong at the beginning. You have to truly make them truly weak at the beginning, rather than, you know, because it's one thing for a tank to have his tankiness. That's one thing, but like if a tank, because a tank is not a main damage character, it's supposed to not to be a main damage character. It's supposed to, you know, you're supposed to mitigate the damage from other people. You know, you're supposed to mitigate damage to your teammates. It's like, you know, but then if you have a really powerful character at the beginning, it kind of throws everything off kilter, because you can't fight that said character properly. Which you
Yeah,
have. I mean,
exactly.
what they truly need to do is they need to take these powerful characters and make them truly weak at the beginning. You
Yeah,
can keep their tankiness. I don't care about the tankiness because they're tanks.
yeah,
Those two are basically tank. Those two are tanks. Like Johanna and Leoric, they need to be what they are. They're tanks. They're not. Sure they're clearing minion waves, but if you're too strong in the beginning, it kind of throws the game off kilter in lane.
yeah,
It makes it hard to fight against the lanes. It's like, oh, I have to fight Leoric. Damn it,
yeah.
because he's gonna clear the wave and then he's gonna be fighting me the whole time.
He's gonna clear the wave, and then he's gonna throw his W on you, and you lost a quarter of your health, and you don't have a minion wave.
Basically, yeah. So you're trying to keep him off the minion wave, but you can't do anything because he's completely obliterating the minion wave. So
Yeah,
you've become inconsequential in that equation.
yeah,
So basically, what you do is you just make it just. I'd say keep its damage per level where it is, and just like cut it. Not so bad that that he can't do anything, but like make it so he has to worry about the hero in the lane he's in. So like, oh shit, maybe I should, because he's attacking me and I'm attacking minions. It's like, I mean, really, you have to, you really, I think the problem with this game is you have to scale everything down to the beginning, be weak at the beginning,
mm-hmm.
and then as the game progresses, that's when you're truly strong. Because that's what it seems like it's supposed to be. You're supposed to be strong at the end, not at the beginning. Then again, the beginning can make or break your game. So that's kind of just where I'm going with it.
Okay. So Muradin is getting a very minor change. Haymaker is receiving improvements, basically on its casting.
Okay.
So I think they're reducing like the wind up a little bit.
So basically,
it'd be
its
like,
activation is being shortened.
yeah, that's what it feels like. Or that's what it sounds like. It says it should be more responsive to cast. So
I mean,
so either that or it was just legitimately having an issue being cast.
that could be it, because I've never had a true issue with being hit by Haymaker.
Yeah.
But I mean, it removed me from the fight. It's not like I died or anything.
Oh yeah. Screw Haymaker. Who picks Haymaker anyway?
And I think I think one of the last times we played, I got hit by a Haymaker. But yeah.
Yeah. So next up is the newest hero, Rexar. She's getting a new ability, which is Misha Fixate. So it's an activatable skill, it looks like. So he's going to start off with an activatable level 1, like, a 1-key talent.
Yeah.
So it'll have two functions depending on its target. If Misha Fixate is used on an enemy, Misha will move to attack the target until the target dies. A new order is issued, Misha leases, or she dies. If Misha Fixate is used on the ground, Misha will move to that area and hold position until a new order is issued, Misha leashes, or Misha dies.
So basically, what happens is they're adding micro to Misha.
Yeah.
So
basically.
yeah, so it gives you a little bit more control over what Misha does.
Mm-hmm.
So outside of actually telling Misha to attack with your skills.
Yeah.
So it gives you a little bit more micromanagement, like the Lost Vikings, and
yeah,
but a little bit more micromanagement than say like a sentient heroic like Kerrigan's Ultralisk.
Yeah. Basically. This is a fun one. Misha's trait. The trait. So Misha's leash range has been significantly increased. So now she won't run back to you if you go like 2 feet away from her. It was bigger than that, but it was kind of an obnoxious leash range. So apparently before she would not hide in a bush when Rexar did. So now she will hide when Rexar hides in a bush.
Well, I mean, because it's like that sounds really obnoxious though, because it's like when you play Payday and you got hostages.
Yeah.
Sometimes a hostage won't walk into a room that you need to walk to before the guard shows up. Great. Now I'm fucked.
Exactly. Speaking of wave clear, Spirit Swoop, which increased his Q abilities damage to non-heroic targets, is being reduced. So now it's only getting a 200% bonus damage increase on his bird of prey talent. So probably trying to nip that in the bud.
Honestly I see these percentage damages weirdly enough, and I'm play a lot of Diablo lately, but like I find those damage increases to be a little you know be a little small considering what I deal with normally in Diablo. So
Yeah.
doing math and whatnot.
Okay, Mr. Stitches. Stitches is probably getting the most significant rework.
Again.
Yeah, again. So, he's getting a health increase of 30 extra health per level. Still has the same base health. So they're removing block, regen master, imposing presence, and they're adding stone skin. So he's getting a new talent at level 1 called Dampen Magic, and it is basically block for abilities. So it reduces incoming ability damage by 50%, and you can store up to 2 charges, and you can gain a charge every 8 seconds.
So it's like it's like in Diablo there's physical damage and there's non-physical damage. It's like there's normal then you got heroic abilities, then you got just basic attack. So basically, it just takes it blocks blocks ability damage. So it's like blocking magic, blocking non-physical damage like in Diablo.
Mm-hmm.
So whether it's physical or not, it's a hero. It's a hero's ability. So
yeah. So at level at level 1, he's getting another new talent. So now that they got rid of Regen Master, he's getting hungry for more. Collecting regeneration globes permanently increases his max health by 30. I'm a little curious to see how that works out, because I don't know. That seems like a lot. But I guess 10 globes, that's like 300 health, which is, I guess, is like late game. That's like an auto attack. I don't know.
because it's like it
sounds like a lot.
I mean, but really, because how I mean, it's like in my case, because of the characters I use, it's like how often do I really get health globes? Because I prefer ranged characters over melee characters. So
yeah,
how often do I really get ranged? That's why I don't see a problem with that, because like I mean overall, whether or not it helps, like Stitches is still like the character that that everyone normally avoids using. So
yeah.
I mean, maybe they're trying to lure people in, because because after that first rework, I mean, it's not like it really helped, but like let's see what really happens with this rework.
So his hook,
which is his basically his bread and butter.
Yeah, so the helping hand talent. So if you actually use hook on an ally via helping hand, it reduces the cooldown by 8 seconds. So now basically, if you hook an ally, whether on purpose or to help them or to troll them, you'll actually get the cooldown back on your hook very quickly.
They probably did that. They probably did that not really thinking about being trolled.
Yeah.
They probably did that to basically to me, if I were to ever use Stitches, which I've never have, I would probably only use helping hand to people that are overreaching, because I'm the tank. What the hell are you doing?
Yeah.
I don't really think about it when I have to save people or to stop people from overreaching.
Yeah. So Slam getting a mana cost reduction by 5.
Seems kind of minuscule, but what do I know? I don't use Stitches.
Devour getting a 10 mana cost reduction.
Like I said, I don't use Stitches.
Devour's getting a cooldown reduction by 4 seconds, which that's pretty significant.
But what do I know? I don't use Stitches.
Last Bite talent now grants cooldown reduction for enemies that are killed within 3 seconds after being damaged by Devour. I think before it was if you killed someone with Devour, you got the cooldown reduction.
So basically, it's like being marked for death, basically.
Yeah. So Indigestion, So that was the talent where he created a Retchling every time he used Devour.
Okay.
Retchlings now apply the effect of Vile Gas to the targets they attack.
Wow.
So Gorge is getting reworked. So Gorge duration is being increased from 3.5 to 4 seconds. Stitch's movement speed is no longer reduced while using Gorge. Targets under the effect of Stitch's Gorge will now be instantly expelled if Stitches enter stasis, which is Divine Palm, Devouring Maw, Cocoon, or Medevac. And then the Hungry Hunger Stitches talent, which is his level 20 upgrade for Gorge, no longer increases the Gorge duration, but now increases the damage by 40%.
Well, how much was the duration before, though? Like, when you, like, the duration of it? How much did it increase the duration?
I'll be honest, I'm not 100% sure.
Like I said, I don't know. What do I know? I don't use Stitches. So.
Yeah. So, basically, they said we wanted to buff Stitches in position to be more powerful against mages because obviously they're very strong right now.
Yeah.
Hoping to maybe give him some effectiveness in the meta. His regeneration build has been nerfed due to the removal of Regen Master, but now instead he has a high health build, which also increases Devour's effectiveness. His core kit was improved at a basic level, which will help bring him back into competitive play. Well, I mean, that's a presumptuous statement.
Really,
finally, we wanted to clean up the rules associated with Gorge and level 20 upgrades, so we cut the unnecessary components of those abilities.
I mean, it's not like, you know, it's not to say that, like, it just seems like, because, you know, it didn't seem like Stitches was that effective of a character to begin with, but, you know, it really shines in the hands of people who've experienced it properly.
Yeah.
You know, because Stitches is an odd tank. You know, he can, you know, I mean, he can take the damage when he wants to, but, like, he's a very odd, like, usage.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, I mean, it seems like half the time you're running away, but that's like, you know, but what do I know? I don't use Stitches.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I mean, overall, it's going to be pretty interesting to see. I think, let's see, one, I don't think Diablo's getting enough. That's just me. I don't know. Maybe.
Wait, hold on. Let's see it like this, though. Like, people who like to use Stitches, do you think that's a boon to them, or?
Everyone I know so far, which is more than just Alan, in case you're wondering.
I mean,
so far, most people seem very happy with the Stitches changes.
I mean, because, you know, it seems like they need to get him back into the fold because, you know, he's you know, I mean, he's basically the black sheep of the tank family.
Yeah.
So, you know, he's not, you know, I mean, let's look at it like this. Would it have really have changed if Australia's team picked Stitches over Sonya? That's the question you have to ask yourself. But then again, who really shines with Stitches, you know, overall? So.
Yeah, not many people use Stitches.
It's probably because
he's been used he was used a couple times in competitive play recently. I think by C9 actually, Cloud9. But I could be yeah. I think he was used as their second tank, like their off tank.
Well, that's good because then when you, because I think he shines in a 2-tank build. I want to say because, you know, while people are paying attention to the main tank, being the off tank, he can shoot his chain over if he needs to save the tank or if he needs to grab someone who's, you know, bothering the tank from a distance.
Yeah.
So and then he could, you know, then the assassins can pick off this guy, you know, while he's being pulled in. So I mean that. I can never. Let's just say I can never see Stitches as a main tank. So.
I think the issue with him as a main tank is just that he lacks hard crowd control other than his hook, which is so unpredictable.
Well, let's just say he shines better as an off tank. Yeah. So.
I don't think he shines as a main tank. Similar to Arthas, I don't think he shines as a main tank.
Well, then again,
doesn't mean they're not good.
High offensive oriented tanks that don't have like a lot of crowd control, they mostly shine as off tanks, like you said, yeah. Arthas.
Even Tyrael's more of an off tank.
Yeah, because he's he could, you know, he could pop in and out.
Yeah.
You know, he's not meant to take that, you know, take all the damage. So, I mean, he can if played correctly, but you know, it's still difficult. It's still difficult to tell here whether or not it'll really make you know, it really makes a difference in the Stitches game. But
Mm.
I mean, I guess if the Stitches players are happy, I'm sure everything will be okay. But you know,
The the only issue I kind of have is in the patch a while back where they changed a lot of the supports.
yeah,
They were basically eliminating the support's flexibility for the most part.
yeah,
They eliminated like a lot of the supports like flexibility to play off roles.
okay,
Um, so they're trying to make Tassadar and Tyrande more viable as main healers, but they're not really getting rid of their, I don't know, utility. It almost makes Tyrande seem super duper duper flexible compared to like any other hero now.
yeah.
Like she might be the most flexible hero in the game.
Well, yeah, because she's got her surprising stun. You
Yeah.
know, she can snipe off unsuspecting heroes with her owl.
Yeah.
You know, she can do the high damage when you need her to. She could stop a hero when you need her to. She can heal you if you need her to. So
Yeah, that's the thing. Like Starfall, in my opinion, Starfall's never been like super strong of an ult.
no, it's kind of been kind of in the back. You know, it's more of a nuisance than it is anything else.
Yeah, and so like
Well, you know what? If I find
you,
it, I find out the zone.
if you
Okay.
take Starfall out of Tyrande's kit,
Yeah.
um, and you go a full damage build, but now you have a healing ult. Like now it seems like it's like you can get an assassin with a healing ult in your group on top of getting a healer,
Yeah.
and you're not losing out on anything. I don't know. I think it makes her too strong and too flexible, without getting rid of, because that's what they did to all the other supports. They got rid of their utility for the most part.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm a little worried that Tyrande's now going to be a little too strong.
I mean, at this point, Starfall, for example, Starfall is only meant to zone people out.
yeah,
So I mean, if you were honestly, I don't care for how much Starfall does as you know as damage wise. I mean, I've sat there and basically I've grunted it out basically. You know, I've grunted it out and you know and still come out on top.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's really how you're willing to look at it. So
Yeah.
I mean, but then again, if you really think about it in the long run, Tyrande's actually probably becoming too strong. So
I definitely think that she's gonna be too strong. She's gonna have she can already have assassin damage output. So like now you'll be able to get an assassin who can heal well, and they can get a significant healing ult. So unless this healing is very minuscule on her healing ult, then I don't see how this is gonna work.
yeah.
But we'll see what happens. That's my thoughts. Diablo's not buffed enough, and Tyrande's about to become way too strong. Way too flexible, also. But yeah, so that's essentially it. That's the patch. Yeah, I'm excited to try the medic. I feel like she's gonna be hard to use
Well, I mean, you know, that's
because you can only single target heal. So like you're gonna have to be switching your heals, throwing out your shield.
well, yeah, because that's the difference. Because any StarCraft player who's who's base medics on their builds and on the Terran, they know that this is gonna be this might be a difficult first try. So I mean, we'll see like let's see in the beginning here, like if anyone finds any specific any specific pairings with heroes that she'll be good with. I mean, I'd imagine she'll be pretty good with with most heroes, but
Right now it looks like Illidan and Butcher are going to be really great on her. Most auto attack heroes in general.
yeah, I mean, because it's I still think it's gonna be a hard first use, but we'll see where the game takes her from here, and then we'll be looking forward to the next release of the next hero, and hopefully we'll be back with a with a new MGT cast on
Yeah.
that patch coming soon.
Yeah. Well, I think the next heroes are Tannis, but I think he's not going to come out with a balance patch, so there won't be any too many significant changes. But he looks more like a I don't want to quite say Sonya because Sonya's been perceived as weak for so long. But he's definitely more like I think an Arthas type tank.
Okay.
So looking at his kit, that's what it feels like. He doesn't really have a lot of hard CC. He has some cool like displacement abilities. And one of his alts is actually a 4-second blind on the entire team.
Well, that's
Which
fun.
that sounds super strong in my opinion. Like even if it's not like a heavy auto attack team, they literally can't do anything but throw abilities for 4 seconds.
I mean, but does it do damage? Does
Uh,
it do
I
damage
think
also on top of blinding people?
I think it does a little bit of damage. But there's also one that's like his other alt. It's like the Hammer of Dawn from freaking Gears.
Okay. Well, we'll see. We'll see how that all plays off as they do as they show us a little bit more as it goes on. But we're more
Yeah.
focused on the medic now. So I guess if that's it, like, comment, subscribe. Tell us what you think about this new patch. Tell us if this has benefited your play at all, or if it's thrown it in the trash. Let's just say.
And also let us know if you think Nintendo will take exception to them having a Samus color variation on her Master Skin.
Well, all right. Let's see what happens. This is the Kings of Rice.
This is Ultima.
See you out there in the Nexus.